Islamabad says Pakistan occupied Kashmir, or what it refers to as Azad Kashmir, is voting. But in parts of the occupied territory, the images coming out are not of the campaign rallies or even polling stations. They are of protests, gunfire, funeral processions, and families mourning those killed in the unrest. In just the past few weeks, dozens of people have died as demonstrations against Islamabad's policies have escalated into a wider confrontation with the state. So, how did an election become the backdrop to one of the region's biggest uprisings in recent years? Let's decode this. The immediate trigger was an election decision. Islamabad announced that 12 of the 45 seats in the PoK Legislative Assembly would be reserved for refugees living outside the territory. Supporters argued that the move was legitimate representation. Critics, however, saw it very differently. For many protesters, it looked like an attempt to influence the political balance of the region and dilute the voice of people living over there. That decision sparked demonstrations led by the Joint Awami Action Committee, or JAAC. But the movement quickly grew beyond the issue of assembly seats. Protesters now began raising concerns over rising prices, governance, unemployment, and what they described as a long-standing political marginalization. What started as an election dispute soon evolved into something much bigger. And then came the crackdown. Authorities moved against protest organizers. The JAAC was banned under anti-terror legislation. Arrests followed. Internet and mobile services were restricted in several areas. And when demonstrators attempted to mobilize larger marches, including towards Muzaffarabad, the largest city in the occupied region, Islamabad clamped down with brute force. Reports from Rawalkot and other towns described security forces firing on crowds as protests intensified. Videos circulating online appear to show confrontations between demonstrators and security personnel, although restrictions on communications have made independent verification quite difficult. What is clear is that the violence has continued to escalate. As voting began in phases, reports of casualties increased as well. Local accounts and rights groups say at least 20 people were killed in a single day during clashes in Rawalkot. The death toll is only rising by the day. Some local estimates now place the number above 80 since early June, with many more injured and thousands detained. Amnesty International and other rights organizations have called for an independent investigation into the use of force. Meanwhile, a powerful symbolism has emerged within the protest movement itself. Demonstrators have been filmed chanting slogans associated with resistance movements across South Asia. In some videos, protesters can be heard reciting the famous revolutionary verse, "Sarfaroshi ki tamanna ab hamare dil mein." For supporters of the movement, such slogans have become expressions of defiance and sacrifice in the face of state action. For authorities, however, these massive protests are being framed as a security challenge that require a firm response. And that brings us to the central question. Can an election truly be free and fair when it is held under the shadow of killings, mass arrests, internet blackouts, and a worsening humanitarian crisis? That debate is now at the heart of what is happening in PoK. Because while official attention remains focused on the election, many residents appear to be focused on something else entirely. For them, the election is no longer the main story, the deaths are. WION decodes complex issues in simple language. What would you like us to decode next? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned.